Good morning. My name is Olga Havnen. I'm from the Northern Territory, and I've been invited to join you today at this anniversary event of the Stolen Generations National Apology. I've spent most of my working life, of course, in Aboriginal affairs, working primarily for the not-for-profit sector and for many years in Aboriginal community-controlled organisations. My most recent position, I guess, was with Danila the Aboriginal Health Service in Darwin, and my mother was a founding member that established that health service. So we're very proud to have that association. I've just commenced work as the CEO to establish a new peak body that has been established to help support those service organisations working in this really critical area of addressing family, domestic and sexual violence. Yes, I absolutely remember the national apology by the Rudd government, but I also remember much more vividly was the Walk for Reconciliation across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, where some of our supporters helped us engage a signwriter who wrote the word sorry across the skies on that day. And I think it was really significant that we got so much coverage of that signwriting on that day. However, I'd also say too, being able to attend the National Apology in Parliament House in Canberra was an amazing event. I mean, just so many people who turned up for that, and you could tell just how important that apology was for people. The ongoing impacts of the removal of children is something that just cannot be underestimated. And I think it continues to cause so much pain and grief, for adults, for those families, but also particularly for those people who've grown up without knowing who their families are, and the important work that organisations like Link Up do in trying to re-establish those family connections. Because quite often people don't know, where they're from, who they're related to, or even why they were removed. And so I think those things of being able to find out that information, that very important and personal information, is so critically important to people's sense of identity and belonging. And we all have that need to belong and to know who we are, and this includes our own family. More recently, we've come to learn about Bruce and his attempts to find out more about his mother and his grandmother, who's also my aunt. And it's been an amazing journey for all of us. So we welcome him. I don't think we can underestimate, the ongoing legacy, if you like, of intergenerational trauma as a result of these past policies and practices. And there's a real need, I think, to better support both the individuals that were removed but also their families. The ability to establish trusting, healthy relationships within family groups is extremely difficult for those people that have been removed, because one of the critical things that they've lost, or they were never given or afforded, was that thing of building, this real strong attachment bond, knowing that the people you're growing up around are in fact your families. And for people who were removed and put into institutions, it must be even more difficult. And I'm quite often incredibly amazed at, the resilience and the tenacity of those people from the stolen generations, to continue to strive to live their best possible lives that they can, despite all of this hardship and heartache. So I'd actually suggest that, governments need to come to terms with the fact that these traumas are not easily removed or easily healed, and that we need to invest in supporting and strengthening our families and communities. If we want people to grow up and to have strong, healthy families and children, kids who are not getting into trouble with the law and the like, then we need to invest in strengthening those family bonds and those family relationships. I think just to conclude, I would like to say that, people need to continue to look for family if that's possible, that you need to be supported to do that. And it would be ideal, I think, for us as a nation to move beyond just the apology. I think reparations and compensation are incredibly important as part of that healing process. But more importantly, probably, is to resource people to be able to reconnect with country, with family, on a regular basis. One-off visits is not enough. Too often people don't have the financial resources and capacity to do it on their own. So finding some sort of pool of funding that would help people do that, I think, would be incredibly important. But more than that, I think, is also explaining to the broader community and the public just what this impact has been on you, and, to have the courage to tell your stories. It's really important that ordinary Australians understand what has happened, because I'm quite sure a lot of people still to this day either don't know or studiously ignore the facts and the real information. So please, share your stories. I'm sure it will be well received and that you will find, perhaps new friendships and new relationships out of that journey. Before I go, just thank you very much for your time to link up, for the invitation to speak to people today. And I wish you all the best. Have a great morning tea.
Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Jamin Bob.